It's all going crazy in Celtics world right now. It's official. The Boston Celtics have made 2 deals in the space of around 20 minutes. I was out walking the dog when the first news broke. By the time I got back, managed to digest what had happened. The next shoe dropped. So we're going to look at these one by one. Then we're going to look at how this impacts one of the Celtics' most recent draft additions, Amari Williams. I'm going to jump straight into it. First things first, the Celtics traded Georges Niang over to the Utah Jazz. They coupled that with 2 second-round picks. In return, they're getting RJ Lewis Jr., who's a rookie on a 2-way deal. Now, that fact that he's on a 2-way deal is going to mean something in a moment once we start talking about Amari Williams. By doing that, I'm just pulling it up from Bobby Marks now. The Celtics actually saved a bunch of money. So the luxury taxes that were involved were crazy. So just looking at Bobby Marks' numbers now, and you can see them on screen as I put them up here. Niang was on an expiring $8.2 million deal. By moving him, the Celtics dropped their tax bill from $73.1 million down to $30.4 million. That puts them $10.2 million below the second luxury tax apron, which means Brad accomplished what he set out to do this summer. And now they're only $1.7 million over that first tax apron, only $1.7 million into the luxury tax at all. That changed very quickly. But the main thing here is the Celtics are now comfortably under that second apron, and they still have a $25 million traded player exception that they generated earlier in the summer. They still have Anthony Simons that they can move if they find anybody they deem to be worthy of a trade in terms of coming back. So the Celtics still have some tradable assets, but we're getting to a point now where the only guys with actual trade value are Jaylen Brown, Derek White, guys that aren't going anywhere, Peyton Pritchard. Sam Hauser, you could argue, could stay, could go, but we're starting to see the moves are starting to pay off now. So that was the first deal. I was out walking the dog. I'm okay with this. Niang, obviously, a lot of Celtics fans weren't really thrilled that he'd joined Boston. He would have been serviceable. He would have played his role, would have hit his threes, didn't strike you as a long-term prospect. You're getting another rookie in that you can take a closer look at. He's on a 2-way deal, so he's not going to break the bank. You're going to be able to develop him in Maine, where you've had a bunch of success in recent years, and lean on him for a depth piece throughout the season as and when you need, if he's earned that spot. So I was cool with that just in general. Like, you save a bunch of money, you do what you need to do, you get off of Niang's contract. Now you're close to being out of the luxury tax. Then the next move happens. So the biggest issue here is, and if you haven't seen it, go back and watch the video I did yesterday, just in terms of the front court depth and looking at potential free agent guys. Now, this move that I'm about to talk about doesn't solve Boston's issues at the center. They're still very limited in terms of the 5, just because the lack of height, the lack of high-end skill. The report that Bobby Manning came out with a few days ago where Neemias Quater underwent knee surgery and now he's working his way back ready for Eurobasket. That's a concern for me. So the 5 areas are still a bit of a concern, but the Celtics went out and picked up Chris Boucher, or Bobby Boucher, however you want to talk about him, right? From Toronto Raptors. He was an unrestricted free agent this summer. Can play a bunch of positions, positionally versatile, around 6'9", 6'10", around that size. Basketball Reference has him listed at 6'9", 200 pounds. Positionally versatile, can play the 3, the 4, or the 5, or at least that's what Basketball Reference has him at. I have him as a 4 or a small ball 5 personally. Can score around the rim, can score from deep as a spot-up guy. Decent rebounder. Championship experience, if you want to put it down. I mean, he's got a ring. Championship experience, understands how to play well, will definitely play a big role. Brings good length. That's one of the things the Celtics front court was lacking more than height, was actual length. I think Boucher is going to really add some important kind of deterrence on driving lanes. He's going to be a bit more of a pest in the passing lanes as well. I like that pickup. Gives you some floor spacing, gives you another guy that can crash the glass. You can slide him to the 5 if you need to. That positional versatility is important, especially with the state of the front court as it is right now. You've got a guy who can go 5, you can go 4. Even if you need him to, you can go 3. That helps on both sides of the floor, clearly. He's here on a $3.3 million 1-year deal. So the Celtics were $1.7 million over the first apron after trading Niang. Now they're around about $4 million over that first apron, but that leaves them $6 million under the second apron, which is important. You start unfreezing that pick. You can start aggregating salaries in trades. You can do a bunch of stuff that you couldn't do beforehand. And you've got the room now if you want to go and chase a Ben Simmons. or do whatever you want to do in the free agency market, you can do so because you've created the flexibility and you could probably still stay under that second apron. And then again, you still have the Anthony Simons trade that you can make too. I like the Chris Boucher pickup. I think that he's going to be a valuable member of the rotation. I think he's going to play consistently. He played 50 games for Toronto last season. He's been a mainstay for them for years now. Going to come in, he'll be one of the vets on the team at 32. I don't see the downside here at 3.3 million. 1 year deal. He's going to come, he's going to play, then he's probably going to leave or he'll sign another minimum with the team. There's not much risk. It's low risk, high reward type of pickup. And again, the Celtics are doing this a lot at the moment. If you look at the moves they're making, if he plays and builds up a bit of trade value, it's an easy guy to flip, get an asset back closer to the trade deadline, especially if the Celtics aren't doing well. And now you start going to asset, like you want to load up on assets ready for the draft. Boucher could be one of those dudes that you can easily do that with. So it's definitely a strong pickup for the Celtics. Doesn't really impact their cap flexibility too much. Could have some real upside to it. Could have no upside, but it is what it is. That's where it leads us to the two-way rotation and the odd man out right now. So the current two-way rotation, you get 3 two-way spots in the NBA. They're Max Schulger, who is a second-round pick for the Celtics this summer. You've got Miles Norris that played in Summer League, was picked up by the Celtics on a two-way contract last season. Can shoot the lights out the balls, always looks like he's way taller than you expect him to be. And now you've got RJ Lewis Jr. So those are your 3 two-way guys. The problem is that means there's no room for Amari Williams. Amari Williams was another second-round pick for the Celtics this summer. Played for Kentucky last season. Multi-year collegiate prospect. One of the arguably the best passing big man in that draft class. Can rebound the heck out of the ball. Defensive issues are legitimate. I think his feet are quite slow. His hips don't move quick enough to be able to switch on to smaller guards. He's going to get hunted a bit in drop, especially if guys can build up some steam. But he can score, he can pass, he can rebound well, and I think there's a lot of upside there that you can develop. But the only options now are the Celtics waive one of their current two-way guys. Well, they're not going to do that with Schulger, and they've just traded for Lewis Jr., so they're not going to do it with him. So that leaves Miles Norris. So either Miles Norris is getting waived and they're going to replace him with Williams on a two-way deal, or Williams has to sign a full-scale, as I like to call it, NBA contract, which would be probably a multi-year deal with a team option or a couple of team options on the back end of that deal, and then become part of that big man rotation for Joe Mazzulla. Obviously, the third option is they don't sign him at all and he becomes unrestricted and can sign anywhere else in the NBA. We don't know what's going to happen with that yet. I'm assuming they're going to take him into training camp, see how things go, and then make a decision there. But it's definitely an interesting spot for me because it's very rare you see a team pick these dudes up and just not even give them enough of a 1 year look or at least a few months. I mean, even Anton Watson that the Celtics moved on from quite quickly had a two-way deal for a minute, right? And obviously that didn't work out. He ended up playing for the Knicks for a minute and now I think he's a free agent again. That's like the worst case scenario usually. So if Williams doesn't even get a deal, I don't know what that means for him moving forward. But it's definitely something that's interesting to me because you don't trade for Lewis Jr. to then not play him unless you convert him. Obviously, the Celtics could convert Schulger as well, but the pathway to playing time for Schulger is going to be a lot harder just because of the guards that are in front of him. It's the same reason J.D. Davison struggled. It's a lot easier to see minutes for Amari Williams turning up at some point during the during the regular season just because of the lack of depth at the 5. So that's an interesting part for me. So to recap, Celtics trade Georges Niang on a salary dump to Utah. They send out 2 future second-round picks as the price of doing business. Linebacker rookie on a 2-way deal. Then they go and pick up Chris Boucher. They solve a little bit of their length problems and depth problems in the front court with some positional versatility. But that leaves Amari Williams kind of the odd man out at the moment, looking for a way to kind of break in or earn a deal. I genuinely think given some of the other areas that the Celtics could improve, they will probably look at, I don't know, a Ben Simmons or somebody like that before they look at Amari Williams. It might be that he just ends up getting cut loose. We'll see what happens. Definitely interesting. I just wanted to send this little update out there because I think that when you look at the depth chart now, you can feel a little bit better about the front court. I'm still not feeling overwhelmed. I don't think it's great. I think there's a chance they're a little bit more competitive now than what they would have been. But that's it. So now I'm very curious what your thoughts are. Do you like the Boucher pickup? Do you feel like the Celtics should have kept holding Niang? How do you feel about RJ Lewis Jr.? I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen a second of that guy's film yet. It's going to be on my to-do list over the weekend, probably. I'm not going to rush to it just because I've done that before with two-way guys and then they've been cut and it's just like whatever. So I'll give it a few days. Boucher, I'm definitely going to look at. If you want some deeper analysis, like how these guys actually fit on the roster, what we could see from them, then head over to the CelticsChronicle.com, sign up to there for free. That'll get sent straight to your inbox. Then you'll have analysis after every game during the season, 5 days, 6 days a week. There's free tiers, paid tiers, whatever you want to do. Links on the screen if you're looking for it. It's also in the description. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will catch you soon. Peace.